are live. Good evening, everyone. Or should I say good afternoon, good morning, good night, depending on where you're tuning in from. My name is Nibbon. This is the final episode of the Eurocast. I am joined by my regular panelists, Matt Paul, and another regular panelist, Mr. Eugene from Spurs Asian TV. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Happy to hear the news this morning. I didn't expect to get the news today. Southgate is gone, but happy for him to go in the aspect of I think beyond him being good enough or not. I think it's just the right time he's had 4 tournaments now. It's just time to move on to someone else. The question is who they get, which is I'm not confident on who they're going to get, but there you go. But apart from that, I'm good.
Yeah, all well over here in Malaysia, right? Like I was saying before, after all this has happened, Southgate, I think he has to go because he has a couple of shots at this and he still couldn't get it right. So maybe he doesn't have the quality to bring us across the line. So yeah, give someone else a chance, with this group of players.
Yeah. And finally, I didn't think I'd get this news today. I thought it would be like another 2 days before we hear that Southgate. Finally, the reign of terror is over. Southgate is gone.
Yeah, but guys, to tell the truth, right? To tell the truth, right? I mean, he wasn't that bad. You get what I'm saying? But he just couldn't bring us across the line.
We can talk about the style and how we got to where we got, but at the end of the day, he did get us 2 finals, a semi-final, and a quarter-final, to which we've barely had that in the rest of our history. So you've got to at least give him credit for getting results one way or another, but
it means nothing if you don't win the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. But the only thing, okay, to me, what I've seen is very simple. The only positive thing that Southgate has done, right, he's brought back a certain kind of camaraderie between the English players. Because I remember during the past, before Southgate, right, and even if you look further back when he had all those golden generation and all that, all the players were not friends with each other. Just to tell the truth, right? So at least he's brought back a certain kind of unity, a oneness in the English squad, right? And all the egos will be put aside and they play for your country. But he wasn't at the level to actually be able to utilize the talents in front of him in the way that us fans wanted to see, because we are so inclined with the Premier League, right? We see all these English players coming out and we think they are superstars or superstars to be, they have to be used rightly, But we do have a couple of stars there, right? And I guess he didn't know how to utilize them to the potential. And 4 steps at it. And if you still can't get it right, how many more steps you going to give it to him? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? I don't think the English public or English fans don't have that patience.
And the fact that so many everyone's team is overrated. No, Gareth Southgate is just a shit manager.
You can say that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get. I mean, this is where I come in a little bit. Like, yes, Gareth Southgate on the preface of it is shit manager, but you've got people in the past that have managed England, Terry Venables, Brian Robson, who are in their esteems very good managers. Brian Robson, for example, managed very top teams across Europe and didn't do, and he didn't get the results of Southgate for England. So you've got to at least praise the results. And I think somewhat thinking about it, really, thinking about where we were when we lost to Iceland to where we are now, that's such a big step that we've taken. And I always looked at Southgate, even from the start, before we'd even got there, I thought, this is a manager that maybe he'll bring us through to a certain point to then give to someone else, to then finish it off. I think, if anything, he's overachieved at what I thought he could do. And that's where it's been going wrong. I think he did so well. So we've gone, let's keep it with him. Let's keep it with him. I think we should have cut it off sooner. Arguably, I think he probably I definitely think he should have left last tournament.
Yeah.
Even the Italy game, I look at and go, with this, there was clear problems that I looked and went, that is not so much down to the team, but down to the manager. And I could have easily made a case for him to go then. But obviously it takes big balls to sack someone when they've got you to a final. So I can understand them keeping it then. The World Cup, I think, personally, Southgate should have either stepped away himself or the FA should have gone, right, they're going to have a look for someone new. But I do think I think what I want to see from this new appointment is I need to see a step up. I don't want to see us going backwards or sidestep. So I don't want to, as much as I respect the idea of Lee Carsley's won the under-21s Euros, I don't want to see us almost do that's exactly a Gareth Southgate thing. Gareth Southgate made the promotion. I just don't think that's what we need at the moment. I feel we need someone that at least has managed at the top level, whether that's Graham Potter managing for Brighton or Chelsea, whether that's Eddie Howe managing for Bournemouth, Newcastle, managing the Champions League, whether that's someone, if they want to go down the foreign route, Thomas Tuchel's won the Champions League with Chelsea, managed PSG, managed Bayern Munich, whether it's someone like Poch, who again has been in the Champions League, Chelsea, Tottenham, PSG, whatever route the FA want to go to. I don't think the foreign managers will be the ones that the FA go down, but whoever it is, it needs to be just a noticeable step up to manage what I think is probably the best, bar maybe France, in terms of sheer depth, the best squad on the planet.
Now we might want to say we have to compete with Spain. But honestly, to tell the truth, yeah. But to tell the truth, right, at this moment in time, unless it's Klopp coming in, I don't think we should go for any other foreign manager, right? And I think the English FA has been stung by the Ericsson and the Capello era and all that. And like what you're saying, what I've been saying, right, when we had this transition from Roy Hodgson to Sam Allardyce, 67 days or 64 days in charge of the national team debacle, right? And the stability is there, and like what Matt says is correct. He's built something. The foundations are there, right? It's for the next manager to come in and continue and bring us to the next level and win something. But Eddie Howe will do it when Eddie Howe's not won anything at all. Zilch, right? Graham Potter's not won anything at all. Zilch too. So, we still will have to take a long look at what's available out there. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, where I disagree a little bit with Eddie Howe, I think, yes, of course, he hasn't won anything of note, but I'd argue apart from being, even in the Newcastle team, they have a lot of money right now, but they can't really spend it. He's still building it. I don't think he's been in the right opportunity to legitimately try and go win a trophy. If he'd like Potter, for example, if he'd been at Chelsea or had been at a big club and failed to win anything, then that's a bit different. But I think Eddie Howe hasn't made that step up. And I think when I look at Eddie Howe, I look at the positive style of play, the idea of not just when you go 1-1, you sit back and allow almost surrender possession. I think he's a bit more forward thinking, a bit more the modern way of playing football. I don't like to go to that, so I don't want to sound like a tactico, but a hipster. But I think he's just more forward thinking. And if you look at, for example, Spain are the perfect example. De La Fuente hasn't really done anything at all. Hasn't won any trophy, and yet he's taken the Spain team, which last tournament looked very average at best in the World Cup, and that was only 18 months ago. So it's not like it's been a massive overhaul, massive change. Bar the couple of the youngsters that are coming up front, there hasn't been that much of a change from the squad, and actually he's brought something forward. So I think sometimes you just need someone that is positive thinking, someone that can just bring it. Because I think what people keep saying, oh, let's bring Pep in, because Pep's system is wonderful. But these managers don't get loads of time with the players. They get specific couple-week periods throughout the year, and then a training camp before the competition. They don't have time to implement a whole complex tactical style. That's why national football is, to some people, more boring than club football, because they don't have time to do it. There's no, even with Spain, there's not a real tactical sense about it. It's just being organised, getting results, and in some ways individual brilliance, which I think is where this team has got to finals on individual brilliance. But I think we just need that. I think you need someone who's just a good man manager. I think that's the point. I think if you've got someone who's a good man manager, in terms of looking at a situation, seeing changes that are made in real time on the pitch and adapting to that, then I think you've got a manager in international football that will do very well. Gareth Southgate didn't have that. You see, Gareth Southgate takes time before he makes a change, and that's where I think England have suffered time after time. Is Eddie Howe the right man? Who knows? But I think out of the options, I think he looks the most promising of the realistic ones, of course.
Yeah. No, I'll honestly tell the truth, right? Actually, being the national team manager, I guess, is much harder because you have to pick from this array of pool of talents, right? And bring them and gel them together to play a certain style of football that you want them to play. And you can't find out, you don't have that many games to actually do the training runs and all that to understand the system, that, the mentality and, the understanding of the style, right? Or if you can find a manager who can actually pick and match these players, right? And actually play them in their actual positions, right? And I guess being an England coach at this moment in time, you got so much talent and you become stubborn because you feel that, to tell the truth, should Jude and Phil Foden be in the same, we had that dilemma a long time ago, the Lampard and Gerrard scenario.
It's almost the idea of shoehorning people in, because
so,
like for me, I look at Phil Foden should have been, after game 2, really, shouldn't have been anywhere near that starting 11, just because he just, and I think this is over a long period of time, I don't think he's proved it, and that's fine. It might be a thing of, in that Pep system, he looks really good. When he comes out of that system, he's maybe not as good. I would look.
But man, it's not to say that it's not as good, but maybe he's not being used the way that he's been used to being used. You can say that. So, and when that comes in, it's up to the manager to actually understand what talent you have. Maybe that's why Southgate didn't understand what talent he has. And the worst part is that if Harry Kane was injured, he should have even been in that squad, bro. You get what I'm saying? Not to say even to start or whatever. He should be just, go back and rest. You have a bad back. You get what I'm saying? Right? And bring in someone else to play in a different way without actually relying on him so much. And once that reliance is not there, then he becomes the scapegoat, So,
and that's why I've criticised Kane, but it's always on the caveat that I'm 90% sure that he's got a problem. You can see it from what he does.
Remember the semi-finals against Real Madrid, and Tuchel was 1-1 or something, right? And then he made the subs, right? And then after that, after they lost, Tuchel said that Harry Kane had a back problem. That's why they had to take him out.
And he didn't play for Bayern for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. And that's what and I think that 3 problems that get Southgate done in this tournament was, first of all, taking Shaw. I don't mind him taking Shaw, because Shaw in the end he did get fit, and I think when he played, I actually thought he was okay. He was at least a natural outlet on that left hand side, so I understood taking him. But to not take another left back and rely on Trippier, I think was just wholly just. Or considering
Matt is good.
considering Trippier had quite a poor season for Newcastle as it is.
Yeah.
When you've got
Matt, that was just stupid.
Then the second thing is obviously relying on Kane when most people can see he's got a back injury. And then 3 was the whole shoehorning Foden in, shoehorning Trent Alexander-Arnold into midfield. Yeah. And I think with that one, stop listening to the media, because all the media made me laugh when they were slagging off Trent. Oh, look how bad it is. It's like, well, go back 4 or 5 months. You were telling him to do this exact thing to make England more attacking but progressive. It's like, no, it's not going to work. I mean,
for me, there's one more point, is that he was stubborn. You can say, he had all that talent in his disposal, right? He could have played 3 at the back, with the wings of Trent, right? And let's say even with Trippier or Shaw on the left, right? And play a 3-5-2 or something like that. Remember I was saying this, right? If he played a 3-5-2, he could have had Kane and Watkins, Kane and Watkins might have turned out to be a Son and Kane scenario back in Tottenham. But he didn't have the ball, so he didn't have the tactical vision.
It was just the whole Cole Palmer situation stuff. What more does Cole Palmer need to do to get in this lineup? It's like, because Phil Foden is. It's not like Cole Palmer's done fantastic for Chelsea this season. He's done the business in the league. I can understand if it's someone you've brought who looked good but not spectacular in the league, and then you're looking at it and going, well, he's done well, but there's more established players. He's done just as well as Foden, and yet, even though he was performing much better, and arguably I've heard a lot of people who are non-Chelsea fans saying that he's one of the players of tournaments, and he never even started a single game.
Wait, player of the tournament, Cole
Palmer. For England, not for the whole.
I was going to say, what?
As in for our squad. I mean, personally, I think Gay was fantastic. I think he was one of my favorite players of the squad, because
I would say our best player of the whole tournament was Mark Guehi.
Guehi is one of them, right? But to tell the truth, in the attacking sense, whenever Cole Palmer came on, right, it gave us that excitement. You had a tingling sensation in you where you know that he will do something.
And I know. I mean, we know it from being Chelsea, but he'll just create. He'll make that pass that 8 out of 10 players don't make because they don't think they can do it. Whereas in his mind, he can do any pass he wants, really. And sometimes there are games where he'll do it too much, but I think he does have that almost nous already. If he knows it doesn't work, he'll try something.
He's young. You can say, he's young. That's one part, right? That's the experience will come in later. But the thing is that if Southgate was more daring, or maybe he didn't stick to his rigid kind of player selection, I guess. And no, the weird part was, right, in this Euros, England picked a very raw team. You can say that. You had something like 6 or 7 unknown players. So the only one I can say is that Guehi came up good. We should have used Palmer more. And Anthony Gordon got what? 3 minutes? Yeah. But never mind, he's gone. But now we have to look into big up Jose. Yeah, hope you're doing well.
You don't have to rub it in, mate. You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, Spain won fair and square, and I'm not. I mean, actually, I felt worse for the Italy loss, because I felt Spain deserved to win. The way they played that tournament, Spain deserved. I don't think Italy in 2020 played outstanding.
Yeah, true, right? Italy, right?
Do you want me to tell you the truth? Do you want me to tell you the truth? And this is going to offend a lot of people, and they will just call me a hater. People criticized England for playing anti-football in this tournament. What was Italy playing in the last tournament?
No,
It doesn't matter. They won it. It doesn't matter what they did.
Yeah. Arguably, Chelsea played anti-football in 2012. We don't care about that. I mean, I'm just saying that Italy were not the best team in the tournament. It was on home soil. It was made for England to win this, and we didn't.
Yeah, and Southgate effed it up.
Yeah, Southgate not sorting out the Chiesa change where he free roamed, then bringing on 3 people out of the blue for penalties, which I've never regret.
Matt, I go back earlier. When we scored that goal, right, we should have gone on and pressured and got 2 more goals. That was the simple thing. Italy was there for the taking, man. They were like legs wide open, come help me. And Southgate said, "Oh no, I need to look for the condoms."
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And it was so depressing. It was home ground. It was like once in a lifetime chance we're gonna get something in, Oh, I'm a Spurs fan.
I mean, I think Spain played fantastic the whole tournament. So it was kind of a thing. Was like I came into it thinking I did predict we were going to win, but inside I knew that Spain were likely to win. We were not going into this match as the favourite.
Okay, Matt,
and they played.
When Palmer scored that equalizer, right? Didn't you get that feeling like, okay, we're going to go for it now, right? But then after like 2 minutes, we said, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, after 2 minutes, I
like, oh no!
I thought, oh, here we go again. And this one, I almost felt exactly the same as Carabao Cup final, Chelsea-Liverpool. When we were on top, Liverpool would put all their kids on, and then suddenly Poch just sat back, and then suddenly Van Dijk scores a corner, which I'm not surprised with this Chelsea squad that's just like midget FC. But there you go. But I felt exactly the same way. We've just done this ourselves. That was frustrating, but it was like I knew from the moment we sat back, we're not going to win this.
Yeah. No, but like I said, right, now we've got choice, right? We've got to sit back and let's watch what the FA picks for us. Let's hope, to tell the truth, right, whoever comes in now, I think if you say if it's an English manager, who would it be? You say Howe, Potter, Sean Dyche.
Oh God, as much as I like Sean Dyche,
yeah,
people have been talking about anti-football as it is.
What about? Okay, I give you another. What about Steve Cooper?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not totally against it when you say it, but that is almost the problem of the fact that I look at Steve Cooper and go, yeah, why not? Is kind of the problem in most nations. Most nations, you have about 1 billion. Like if you look at Portugal or Spain, they've got about 3 or 4.
Look at the Italians, right? They got Ancelotti. They got
you look at Spain.
Yeah.
I mean, Portugal. You could just go, oh, I can get Mourinho. That's fine.
Do you know what this reflects on? This reflects on the quality of the English coaches or managers that we have.
And that's the problem. I honestly think, like, even down to the level of how people coach in Sunday league football, just shows that we're not. Like my dad, he was a football coach from my team, my brother's team when I was younger, and he actually played very open play football. And we were so successful because everyone else was just so behind. I mean, my dad was kind of very tiki-taka, one touch. And we played through teams, and every other team was the same kind of thing of lump the ball up, 4-4-2. And that game is dead by now. So if you that's your fundamental. Spain have that fundamental tiki-taka, good play, one-touch football. And that gets them far, but our fundamentals in this country of how we play football, it's just not progressive enough to get to the top level and churn out top class managers. Of course, you get once in a while you get managers that are okay, they're quite decent, but they're not instinctively that same thing.
I just give you an example. in the past 20 years, right? Name me one top English manager.
I mean, the thing,
Yeah. The furthest one I can go back to is who? Bobby Robson.
Bob, and then that's why that was me. He went to Barcelona. He played the progressive type more at that type era, progressive football. But that was the difference. So I have to go back. But then even in them eras, we had more good managers because that's the style that was around, and our style was more correct for that era. But I think the FA need to go as deep to the point of the initial coaching badges that managers get. They need to have a philosophy of how we want our kids to play, and that will progress through player development, whether that's in just Sunday League football, academy, whatever. Coaches going through the ranks from Sunday League football, etc. And it will. But the FA don't care about this. They just care about.
Matt, do you know what you said just now? Just reminds me of what Spurs. You don't get the progression of the tactics and the style of football that is continuous. You bring in managers to do this, and then you bring a group of managers to do another thing. So I guess we haven't got our identity. No, to tell the truth, right? Even as you look at the Netherlands team, this Euros, right? You don't see that open style of football when they won it the last time in the 88, Somehow or other, football now has become too systematic, not enough creativity, right? Everything's too rigid to a certain way.
Yeah, I think football as a whole is turning that, and I think it's why.
But it's the evolution of it, so I guess that's part of it. But maybe it might evolve back again to the, Spain.
It's always a consistent side. Things that go out of fashion will potentially come back into fashion eventually when tactics.
But unless some new idea or some manager comes up with some new style of football, like Shaolin soccer or something like that. I don't know. If you guys watch that movie, yeah.
But I think the FA need to do so much more than they are fundamentally. I think they are, to give them credit, they are starting to do the aspect of the under 21s, under 18s, 17s, 19s, whatever. They're all linked in terms of they play the same style of football as the England first team. Yeah. So it's the idea that as the kids come through, it's not that big a change. It's you can see that with how almost quick, how easy it is for some of the younger players, Palmer, Gordon, Gahey. They just fit into the squad, which I think is correct. But I think they need to go further than just the professional international squad level. They need to rip through the whole thing, from literally the boys and girls that come in on a Sunday morning, under 8s, under 9s, and that will be so much beneficial. I mean, my dad was again going back to him. He the first thing he taught kids to do was passing the ball quick moving, passing the ball, pass and move, and obviously the other things come more naturally. But you look at the other coaches, and it was run up and down, and just run around and see how it goes. But there was no actual philosophy. And again, the typical English player works hard, puts in effort, puts in a good tackle. It's that only takes you so far as a player. You need to have some resemblance of quality, and it's just not there in the Sunday League level.
That's true. But yeah, all I can say now is that the ball is in FA's court, right? Whoever they pick for the next England manager, we know we do have enough talent, right, to actually challenge for a World Cup or the Euros or some of the big tournaments out there. Let's see whether we can find one. But Nippon, I've got to make a move soon, right? I'll catch up with you guys later. Have a good day. And are you still there, Nippon? Matt?
Don't know who he is.
Yeah, right. I won't leave you alone until he says something. Yeah. Maybe he's reaching home, parking the car, and setting up his system on the other side. No, but coming to it, What were your thoughts on the Euro overall? You know, were you impressed, bored, excited?
Um, I mean, I was watching, actually, funny enough, a video on this about, is this the worst Euros ever? I don't think it necessarily is. I think it is just, I think if you look at Qatar in a way, it was a little bit similar. I think it hotted up towards the knockout stages, but the group stages were quite similar. And I think it's just the top teams have become. I do think playing at the end of the season when players are absolutely shattered and just running on fumes does not help. And you can just see there's such a lack of quality. I don't think it helps that the group stages effectively now. There's not that much that you, as a big team, you're very rarely going to get knocked out because even if you're not that great, you're still probably going to get through them third place playoffs. I mean, I think they either should make the tournament smaller again, so it's only the second places go through, or they expand the tournament a bit further, so there's more groups, but again, second places go through only. Because group stage is boring now. Because I mean, I think in our group, Slovenia didn't win a single game, went through. Portugal in 2016 didn't win a single game, went through on third place. It's just that doesn't, for me, that's not. It makes the whole group stage a bit pointless. I think the best games were actually, if you think of it, the teams like Georgia, Turkey, that not as many of their players play at the top in the top 5 leagues. Probably are not as tired, and there's a bit more. How would I say it? Just a bit more energy and passion in the teams, and they were the games that were a bit more exciting. I mean, I think it was Georgia Turkey that was probably my game of the tournament. Watching it was fantastic. I was on the edge of my seat, but there was just other games that were just Portugal, France. Get that game should just go in the bin and never. I mean, if I want to punish my kids, I just get them. I wouldn't even do anything else. I wouldn't shout at them. I just get them to sit down and watch that Portugal game over and over again because that was just insanity. But I do think it's a mixture of players just overtiredness, especially the group stage, lack of competition, and I do think the smaller teams are getting much more better, and almost the gap between the big teams and the small teams are getting closer and closer. You saw that with kind of Morocco in the last World Cup getting to the semi-finals. You've seen that with even like Georgia. Everyone looked at this Georgia team and went, if they get a point, lucky. Even Albania were in such a tough group, and they still looked really competitive, even against. Obviously, they didn't have the thing to get them over the line, but they were still very competitive. So I think because everyone's more compressed together, naturally that makes closer, tighter games. It might not be as exciting. So I do think there's a multitude of reasons. But I wouldn't say this Euros was necessarily boring. It was just terrible in moments rather than the whole thing.
Yeah, I think nowadays a lot of these international tournaments, right? Because you play at the end of the season, a lot of the players are actually worn out by the time you play that extra 6, 7. I mean, let's say 3 more games, right? Into your season of a long season. Let's say you already played 60 games, so the fatigue will play into it, right? So the levels will, drop. So I guess certain teams will play in a certain way, especially like you say, the bigger teams play against each other. But it's like what you say, Matt, right? If you expand the Euros into a 32 kind of nations kind of tournament, then you will have another scenario of teams. But it'll make it exciting, you have something like San Marino against England and Harry Kane scores 5 goals or something like that.
I even think like there are some decent teams that didn't even make, like for example, Norway.
Norway, it'll give Haaland a chance to.
You have Norway get involved. You have Wales get involved. You have there's a few other teams.
Sweden.
Even Finland as well. There are some good teams that are not necessarily involved just because they were in certain groups. But I think I think the quality, especially in Europe, is good enough to have a 32-man tournament. Obviously, that is more games, which is defeating my point of. But I think the international tournaments having more games is not necessarily the problem. It's more the domestic competition throwing more games into it, and that's not going to change. I think where this maybe resolves is when I think you're going to get to a stage where teams will have these ginormous squads.
Most probably you can extend the squad to 30 players now instead from 26.
And then you're almost going to have a cup team and a league team, and that is where lots of players are still getting lots of games, but at the same time they're not going to be as tired. They're not going to be getting as much game time. It might be more beneficial, but that will be further down the road, and that might coincide with a potential, dare I say it, Super League.
Yep, can't hear you, Nippon. Okay, he's gone now.
Nippon's having a mare.
Yeah. But now, honestly, down the road, international football is international football, right? And one thing, luckily, is like we only get a dose of it every 2 years. You get what I'm saying? I remember FIFA was trying to do something like play it every annually or something like that. My God, that would be like crazy.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yep, you're back, Nippon. All right, Nippon, I've got to make a move, right? I'll catch up with you guys later. Right.
Shout out your socials on your way out.
Yep, don't forget, subscribe to Spurs Vision TV if you haven't. Right, I'm a Spurs fan. Spurs transfer window is boring as hell at the moment. So, yeah, it is what it is, right? Guys, take care. Take care, Matt.
Pick up yourself, Eunice.
Bye-bye. All right.
So yeah, finally, I can finally stream without any issues.
Well, you're back now, so we had a good chat while you was gone anyway.
Yeah, I was. I don't know what happened to my mic, but even while I was driving, I could still do it without my face on show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm in a park. I'm in a car park now. I don't know how long I have left. I just parked. I thought someone had joined. I did send the link to Melina as well.
Yeah.
So do you think I honestly think Eddie Howe, I'm not too sure about that.
As I explained before, Eugene, I don't mind the Eddie Howe move. I think he's a progressive coach. He's more forward thinking than most of the options, at least in the English managers that we have. I understand people say that he's not won a trophy, but
what did Joachim Low win before he joined?
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue the guy who literally just won the Euros now hasn't really won anything. Plus, I think there's a difference between not winning anything when you've been managing big teams and not winning anything when you're not actually. Even being at Newcastle, he hasn't been in a situation where he should be winning a trophy and hasn't. Like Newcastle was not at the level of winning big trophies constantly. He's been at Bournemouth and he's been at Newcastle. I think he's done a good job with both. Under circumstances that are not ideal or not perfect. Both situations have not had the best of situations. He's having to manage stuff. So I think Eddie Howe, it's not my favourite option out of all the managers around, but I certainly don't think it's the worst option. I think out of the English managers particularly, it's probably the best option.
So before joining the main setup, he's literally won nothing as a manager.
Let's have a look. I know he was in the Spain 21s. I don't know if he won anything there. Because I know our boys won the last Euro, so he didn't win that. Let me have a look. I'm just looking now.
Yeah, he won the He won the Euros under-19s with Spain. The under-21s in 2019, the Euros, Nations League, and obviously the Euros.
Yeah, I mean, winning under-19s Euros, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a major trophy, so I wouldn't say compared to Eddie Howe that's a massive difference. Of course, he's in Spain. He's won the Nations League and Euros, but
he's not won a domestic trophy with his club.
But I do think Eddie Howe is the best. Are you asking me who's the best England manager, as in English, or are you asking me just manager in general? Because, in my opinion, they're not going to choose a foreign manager, so therefore Eddie Howe's the best option.
I think they won't because they've been bitten twice already.
I just think that's their style as well. I think they were in the first place. I think they were pressured to go into foreign managers.
You don't think they'll be pressured again?
No, I don't think there's the same pressure.
There's a massive uprising.
Is there? I mean, I don't see any massive uprising.
Okay, like what if they go to the headquarters and start like a mass protest?
It's not going to happen. I don't think there's not the appetite for it.
Right. So, to be fair on Joachim Low, he has actually won stuff at club level.
But my point is people keep saying, "Oh, Jurgen Klopp, oh, Pep Guardiola, etc." Who says that they even want to manage an international club? Well, because international football is not necessarily what it used to be. There's not a lot of. If you look at the managers now, there is no one that is a previous great manager and has come in and is. It's almost most people want to stay in club football for as long as possible. Maybe as on their way out after at the end of their career, they go into international management. But I mean, the best manager club kind of success wise is probably Spalletti or Nagelsmann, and neither really succeeded at international level either. So it kind of puts that.
Both have only been given one tournament.
Yes, but what I'm saying, my point is,
Spalletti's only been given the Euros.
Yes, but De La Fuente's only been here what, a year and a bit, 18 months, if that. It's not like he's got much more. Of course, they're Nagelsmann and that have not had a much time.
How long has Spalletti been in the Italian job for?
Well, he left Napoli at the end of last season, so I assume that was not long up. I don't know when he actually come into it, but I know it was when Mancini left for Saudi.
Wait, he's now the Saudi Arabia manager.
I don't think he's the Saudi Arabia manager. I think he's one of the Al teams. I don't know which one. I know he's in Saudi for something, but whether it's the national team or whether it's the club football, I don't know. But my point is I don't think Klopp or Pep right now will go to an international team.
Do you think Klopp actually manages another club team? And if so, who do you see him managing?
Well, I see him taking a year out. So I don't think I think right now he's not. I don't think he's going to bother looking at jobs for a year. I think he looks potentially, honestly, at I think he looks at Bayern Munich, depending on how company does. Is company there? Go on.
That will just completely destroy his legacy.
Why?
Dortmund. So I doubt
The amount of Dortmund players that have gone to Bayern, it's not. Everyone knows how that league goes in terms of the best people go.
Marco Reus, did he?
Well done. One player. One player is not the. Just because he's the exception doesn't mean the exception is the norm. But the general consensus is most best of the German players, managers, etc., will eventually go to Bayern Munich. I think he looks does he potentially look at the PSG job? Does he potentially look at the Barcelona job? Depends on Hansi Flick does. Does he look at Real Madrid? Does he look at Real Madrid? Because Ancelotti's not going to be there forever. I mean, Ancelotti's been linked with a Brazil job for about 10, 12, 13 months. So you don't know how long he's going to be there. I think he's just going to wait a year and assess his options. I think there's plenty of club roles that he could go into if he really wants to. Just depends on what's available. I don't think he's going to rush into a job, but I just don't think he's ready. I don't see him. I mean, Pep's a different discussion, just because he's managed a lot of clubs already. So it's kind of after City. Who is there left to go? I don't see him going to the French league because I think the French league is, to be fair, it's fallen apart. I mean, after half the clubs are going bankrupt at the moment, by the looks of it. Italy, does he go to Italy? Could do, but
wait, who are we talking about? Ancelotti or
Pep? So I mean, it depends. He might, but again, I don't think Pep goes to Spain because. Again, we're talking about legacy.
Wait, De La Fuente is not going anywhere. What do you think? What do you mean he's not going to Spain?
No, I don't mean that. I mean, I don't think Pep leaves Man City for another year or two.
Do you think do you think he stays at Man City as long as does he? Do you think he ends up being there as long as Alex Ferguson did with Man United?
No, I think Pep leaves 2 years' time.
Max or minimum?
Max. And I will say this is dependent on how the 115 charges goes as well. But I think regardless, I think Pep will move out and probably will move out when he sees that City are on the come down, because they are selling a lot of players now and everyone is moving up, so there will be a point where Man City will drop off a little bit. And when I say drop off, they're not going to go down to Chelsea's level. They'll just drop into a more competitive sense of fighting for the title, but not necessarily guaranteed to win it every year. But
I can't.
I mean, I don't. Listen, I don't.
Sorted out by then.
I don't see Pep going to Spain because of his Catalan. Because of Barcelona, Catalan, I don't see that. But
and that's another reason I don't see why Jurgen Klopp becomes the England manager, because of how Liverpool fans and Liverpool as a city feel towards the English, and I don't think Klopp would want that.
Disagree. Just
upset his legacy with Liverpool.
I disagree because it's not like England. Liverpool players that play for England get that tarnish.
Do you not think that like say Trent? Do you not think that deep down, why am I playing for England? I'm a Scouser.
No, I don't think he thinks that.
So, but then the Scousers themselves, why do they not hate him? They should.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I don't think Klopp will be hated, because purely they love their players playing for England. So I don't think it'll be a problem. I don't think it'll affect his Liverpool. I don't think anything. The only thing that affects Klopp's Liverpool legacy is if he went to the red team in Manchester.
You can say Man United.
No, I'm not. I don't like the red team in Manchester.
Fair enough. Yeah. Not even his legacy could be badly tarnished if he went to Everton as well.
Yeah, but I'm being realistic, Dipping. Come on. I mean, me even saying that he could go to United is unrealistic.
I do not
but...
see him realistically ever going to Man United.
No, but in the realm of Man United are a big enough club that could attract a Klopp. Everton are not attracting a Klopp. Ever.
They attracted They attracted Ancelotti.
Yeah, but that was an Ancelotti that was in between, and he didn't. He was that was at a stage where he hadn't won much for a little bit and wasn't exactly the top of the tree in terms of managers. So he went, "Oh, I'll take some money at Everton." And as soon as a better job come along, he was like, "See you later, guys. Bye."
Okay, because a lot of people thought that he was finished at the top level.
Exactly. That's why he went to Everton. Klopp is not finished by any extent.
Do you reckon? I don't think. Do you think he ever manages an international team? Klopp? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know his opinion on it, so I can't really make a judgment on that.
Honestly,
on a guess, not in the next 10 years. I think he's too young of a manager to. I think most managers nowadays, top managers, only consider it when they're on the way out. So that's why I think Mourinho probably considers it, but I think Mourinho, even then, I think Mourinho still wants to be in a full-time gig at the moment. That's why he's chosen Turkey. I think after this, keep an eye. I think after this, keep an eye on the Roberto Martinez situation. I think Roberto Martinez will be gone by at the end of the next tournament.
Yeah,
he'll be hounded out of Belgium.
He's just no. He doesn't manage Belgium. He manages Portugal.
No, I'm saying he will be hounded out of Portugal like he was hounded out of Belgium.
And I'm surprised they even appointed him in the first place. Because
Portugal or Belgium?
No, Portugal. Portugal hiring a Spanish manager is the equivalent of England hiring a Scottish manager, or Scotland hiring an English manager.
I don't think the FA is that. The heads of these football associations are not that tribal. Fans might be, but I don't think the FAs care.
So how would you react if we ended up appointing a Scottish manager?
Depends on who the Scottish manager is. If you told me now, let's rewind a bit. If you told me, oh yeah, we England have just linked with Sir Alex Ferguson, I'd be like, yes, please. Yes, and yes, every day of the bloody month.
David Moyes?
No, David. You're asking me of a good. If the manager is good enough, I don't give a shit what national. He could be the most German man, like the most German of German people. I don't care. As long as they don't physically slag off England as a country, there's no qualms. As long as they're good enough. So
yeah.
You could get me a Scottish manager or a Welsh manager. I don't care as long as they're good enough.
The English than the Germans are, to be fair.
Huh?
They're more likely to slag off the English than the Germans.
But that's what I mean. I don't care about what nationality they are as long as they're good enough. That's all I care about.
Yeah. So anyway, that's almost an hour done on Southgate. And who should
me and Eugene went in a bit more than just Southgate, but
so the match. Where did you speaking of the match? Did you actually have any hope after Cole Palmer equalised? And maybe, you know what? Maybe we could nick it. Maybe the game could go into extra time and it could swing into our favour.
I was buzzing for about a minute and then I saw her sit back and then was like, I turned around and I was watching my dad at the pub and there was a couple of other guys that we were speaking to that I didn't even know who they are. But there you go. That's what happens when you're at a pub. You just speak to random people. But I turned around and said, "We're going to lose this match." And my dad went, "Yeah, probably are," because he's negative. He didn't have any care in the world. He's at the point he knows England are going to disappoint, so he doesn't get emotional about it anymore. Which I think is just seeing. He said, once you've seen England fail enough, you won't feel sad about it anymore.
You know, I'll be honest with you. This loss hurt less than the Italy one.
Oh yeah, I explained this already. I agree, because I come into this game, as much as I predicted they were going to win, I knew Spain deserved to win this tournament. Whereas I think Euro 2020 was made for us to win. We played at home the entire time. The final was at Wembley. It was against the Italy team that weren't that good. We more than should have won that, and that was down to Southgate. Even this match, actually, I thought, in terms of the game itself, I thought the first 45 minutes from us was absolutely brilliant. In the sense that, yeah, we didn't create much ourselves, but Spain had all the ball, and they did absolutely nothing with it. There was not one point in that first half where I was scared of them scoring. They were nothing. I looked and was like, is this all Spain have got? They weren't fantastic. I actually think we did very well.
Obviously, De La Fuente gave them a bollocking at half time.
But this is what I said to you. We did exactly what I said we should have done. Rodri was marked completely out of the game. Mixture of Bellingham and Foden were doing it, which I don't know why Foden was doing it, but I guess knows him as Man City, so he knows exactly what he can do. But they were tagged onto him at different points, and they were comfortable with the ball, but they just couldn't do anything with it, and they were just resulting to corners and crosses, which Spain are good, but that's one thing they're not good at. There's no one in that Spain team that I look at and go, "God, they can score a header." Bar Morata, who's fucking useless. But that first half was exactly how I wanted it to go. The problem was, De La Fuente made a change. He looked at it and went, "Do you know what? Rodri's not working, so I'm going to take that out of the equation. I'm going to put Zubamendi, and I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to play a slightly different way to how I was." Southgate comes out thinking, "Oh, this is going to be all the same." Suddenly, boom, 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 they're already 1-0 up. We haven't reacted. We took about 20 minutes to react to it. Finally made a substitution, got on the ascendancy, scored, and then just sat back again. So this is Italy again. This is the Italy game again. This is the Croatia game again. This is the France. This is what I mean about Southgate, and this is where I'm going to get frustrated with Southgate. Even though I've just been I've been refraining from this. He's not learning from his mistakes. He's making the same mistakes every game. When it matters, Southgate cannot react to a game. He's reactive. He's not proactive.
It's like, you know what? I know best. I don't care what you think. I know what I'm doing.
Well, I don't think that is the case. I just think he's not a good enough manager to be. He can't see it. He can't see it in real time. And I actually think most of the good stuff from Southgate actually comes from someone that we should know very good best as a very good coach, and that is Steve Holland. I think Steve Holland really helped Southgate out more than people think. And I think a lot of the good stuff comes from Steve Holland. Huh?
Well, he's gone too now.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've said this before. I wouldn't be totally against us going fuck it and giving Steve Holland the job, at least on an interim basis. Because we've got Nation League games against Finland, Greece, and Ireland. They're not difficult games, but if we were to take up,
I'd be careful of that Ireland game.
Oh, fucking Ireland! They're rubbish. They're rubbish.
Well, Scotland rubbish. They took a draw against us.
Don't be silly. Well, Ireland are crap. But my point is, if the FA would want to take time, I wouldn't mind seeing Steve Holland just having a look, see what he does. I mean, right now,
Lippert, if I was Todd Bowley right now, I'd be on the phone. All right, Steve, I've just seen you've left England. Sorry to hear that. Would you like a job? Would you like your job back at Chelsea? Because I would fucking well take him with Enzo Maresca right now. People really underestimate how good Steve Holland is. When he left Chelsea, that's when Chelsea started going a bit funny as well.
Yeah. Do you think Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank will get upgraded to assistant?
It depends on who. I don't know, because if Eddie Howe comes in, he might want his own man. I think Jimmy Floyd will be in the setup. Where in the setup, whether he stays in his role, whether he goes up in his role, I don't know. But I think that depends on the incoming manager more than anything.
Do you think Hasselbank himself could take the main job?
No, he's not a good enough manager to do that. No way. He's had enough chances. If you can't hack it at League One level, I'm sorry, you can't be managing a national team. Don't even that would be silly things. I mean, I criticise the FA, but I don't even think they're that silly to do that.
Yeah. So, do you think Eddie Howe would be a step forward, like an upgrade?
Yes.
But was Southgate an upgrade on Roy Hodgson?
Yes.
What would Eddie Howe do if he was in that situation on Sunday?
Be more proactive. Be more. I'm telling you right now, Eddie Howe would not have sat back at 1-1.
Would you have sent the game into extra time?
That's not Eddie Howe's game. We might have still lost the game 2-1, but we would have been progressive about it. We would have been forward thinking about it, and we might have done on the counter attack, which I would prefer to lose that way than to lose how we did.
Yeah.
I
What's your thoughts on that Danny Carvajal doing this?
I'm not really bothered. I mean, players are players.
But the thing is, everyone always criticizes. Now I'm going to get back to the whole. When are people going to call out Anglophobia as what it is, which is a hate crime? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anglophobia is something that's rife everywhere. I don't know if you agree.
Yes, to an extent, yeah.
Think about it. How many people criticize Kylian Mbappe of having a poor tournament?
In the English media or in French media?
The English media.
Not much.
How many people have criticized Jude Bellingham of having a poor tournament?
A fair, I wouldn't say everyone, but a fair amount. There are still people coming out in support of Jude. I mean, I don't think Jude had a bad tournament. Maybe it wasn't. It wasn't his best tournament, but it wasn't a bad tournament either. It was an okay tournament. I thought a lot of people had okay tournaments. Could have been better for their ability, but it was just okay. I think people who had bad tournaments, Harry Kane, but I caveat that for injury. John Stones, he looked like the centre-back that had just come in for England, not Gahey. Kyle Walker. But I do see that there was actually some good things that he done. So it was just...
Kyle Walker?
Yeah.
It's been shit all tournament.
No, No, but I'm saying there's individual moments in games where he's done some stuff very well, but overall hasn't been very good.
What were your thoughts on that?
Trent does not deserve. Trent, just go home. Go home. Sit. Go home. Sit and with Jack Grealish. Go have a piss up because you were used.
You know how
you were-
many Liverpool fans will give you pelters now?
I do not give a. I do not give a damn. I do not give a damn. Trent, go home. Stay there.
So who plays at right back?
Anyone else?
Who plays at right back if he was if Kyle Walker doesn't play? If he was so shit.
With in the current state, or if everyone's fit?
If everyone's fit.
You know that answer. You don't even need to ask me that.
Does he play as a number 4 for Arsenal?
No.
I honestly don't know who you're thinking of.
Mr. Captain.
At right back.
At right back, yes.
Oh, him! He's been so injury prone that I've forgotten.
That's why I'm saying when fit, Reece James is. I'm not even talking. There's not even a talk of Walker Trent. It's just Reece James. Done. Not even a conversation.
Yeah. Hopefully the new medical team knows what's wrong with his injuries.
But yeah, I think Rice also wasn't very good. He wasn't bad all tournament, but he made some really shitty mistakes. And I'm
like the one against Holland, in which Xavi Simons just ran him ragged.
Oh, there was another one that I really got fuming at. But apart from that, I think a lot like Saka had an okay tournament. It wasn't his best. Bellingham had an okay tournament, not at his best. Foden had a terrible tournament as well. I forgot to say that. Pickford had a good tournament. So I'll go through the whole squad. Pickford, good tournament. Trippier, okay tournament, but I'm caveating that as I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because he's playing at left back when he shouldn't be. I think he did an okay job. I think the criticisms of Trippier is not his fault because that's just how that's because he's in the wrong position. So I can give him credit. He wasn't terrible. He was okay. He wasn't special, and he did hinder us, but that's not his fault. Gahey, brilliant tournament. Stones, bad tournament. Walker, bad tournament. Konza, good tournament. Trent, terrible tournament. Anyone else in the centre back? Any other? Shaw, I think he did okay for what he did. I think he was good. Going into midfield, Rice, pretty meh. Bellingham, okay. Kobe Mainoo had a good tournament. Foden, terrible tournament. Palmer, fantastic tournament. Saka, okay tournament. Gordon, I'm not going to judge Gordon on 3 minutes. Tony, I thought he did for the minutes he played, good tournament. Watkins, good tournament. Kane, terrible tournament, but caveat that for injury. Has anyone else played that I haven't mentioned? Eze, I mentioned Jude. Eze, okay.
Did he play?
He did. No, he did come on quite a few times.
Adam Wharton didn't play.
Wharton didn't play. No, I don't think any of the others played a minute. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I get the anger for it, but I will caveat that French media are giving French, maybe not Mbappe, because I think Mbappe, as I said, because of the Real Madrid, I think people don't understand how much power Real Madrid have.
Is that why not many people are talking about Jude's performances either?
No, I think people are still talking about Jude's performance, but obviously, Mbappe got announced today. Real Madrid were not going to let anything, and I mean anything, scupper that announcement.
Well, okay, what if the one of those, like, say one commentator went rogue and said, you know what, I'm going to call it for what it is. You had a shitty tournament, Monsieur Mbappe. What would happen?
Would we say this is a French journalist, Spanish journalist?
Any journalist.
Well, they wouldn't be allowed in Real Madrid for any press conferences at all.
It's basically, well, I'm just going to say one thing. That sounds like a dictatorship.
You don't think Florentino Perez tried to take every big team out for a Super League? Is that not dictatorship? We know Florentino Perez is a dictator and has been for a while. He runs Real Madrid like a dictatorship, and everyone is either well paid or well paid in aspects of information that they don't say anything against it unless they put their head above the parapet. But you find they won't go to press conferences.
There's one thing I've asked you. You seem to be so well connected with all the football media outlets and all the FA and all that. And your dad also used to manage a football team. Were you ever in Chelsea's academy? Were you ever in Cobham?
No, I've never.
Your dad never tried to enroll you?
No, I was good, but I picked up a very bad injury.
Do you think your dad would have tried to put you into Cobham's academy?
Depends if they would. I'll give you a little hint. I was offered the trial. I was offered the trial just before I got my injury to a certain London club.
Tell me backstage who it was.
I will text you who it is.
Okay.
You can probably guess from where I'm located, but don't say it on stream. But yeah, so I have no connections to Cobham. My connections from the FA come from being a qualified referee, managing multiple.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm. So I managed multiple games for. I managed East Essex level, London level, and then I went up to academy level. So I have actually. I will say some stuff. I'm not going to say everything on camera, but I have.
Fair enough.
I have managed. I've refereed players that are currently in the Premier League when they were like 14, 15, 16.
Nice.
One particular player I booked for because he called me a cunt.
What? Just for that?
Again, well, it's the said. I was very strict. You do not come and say anything to me, because obviously I was a young referee myself. I had to assert authority in that respect. I will tell you in confidential who that player is, but I cannot do it. I'm not going to put myself in trouble on stream.
Fair enough. So basically, before we wrap up, we have to make the team of the tournament. So, what are we saying? Who are we putting in goal? Who do you think has had a good tournament?
Goalkeeper's a hard one.
Well, let's look at the final four.
I would go Mamardashvili.
Yeah, I quite rate him too.
I think he was great for Georgia. I would consider him. I would consider him, but I don't know. Depends on price. But
Georgi Mamardashvili.
Otherwise, I don't know. I think Oblak did okay. I don't think many got. I'll tell you, it did good at times for Brugge, for Netherlands. I think who do you know? Have you got the document out for what the official team of the tournament was? Because didn't they give it to Livkovic or something?
Livkovic.
But I thought Croatia were quite crap, so I wouldn't go for that.
One second. I need to check how long I can stay here.
Yeah, I'll just chat. Yep, guys. So I'll get the team of the tournament up. Here they go. Oh, they put. Oh shit! Sorry, phone. Can't. Sorry for swearing. They put Mike in. So no, I mean I look at this Euros one. It is very just top team biased. I'm not that. So Marmadashvili is my option. I'll wait for Nippon to come back, but it is what it is. Wait for Nippon.
Right, 2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah, so Nippon, UEFA gave it to Mike Minen.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm looking at this UEFA team in the tournament. It is very biased towards all the top teams.
Yeah. So there was. So the final four were Mike Maignan, Jordan Pickford, Unai Simon, and that Van Bruggen. And
if I was to give it out of them four, it would be Verbruggen, but I want to give it to Marmadashvili personally.
Yeah, Marmadashvili.
Because let's pick up some of the smaller teams because there was some.
Yeah, for me, I have to agree with you. Georgi Marmadashvili.
What about left back?
I'm going to go. If we're looking at the final four, I always forget that the Denzel. There's Nathan Ake, and then there's Teo Hernandez. Are we going to say Kyle Walker or Luke Shaw for England? Sorry, are we going to say Kieran
Are we just
Trippier
doing
or
final
Luke Shaw?
four, or are we doing all of it?
All of it.
Okay. Oh, I'm picking left back is Cucurella. Left back, I'm giving Cucurella definitely 120%.
Same.
Don't even need to go into that.
Same. Right back, we have Danny Carvajal.
Nippon, if you just talk for a minute, I need to go for a second.
So right back, we have Jules Koundé. If we're talking final four, we have Jules Koundé. I don't know if I think Denzel Dumfries. I think he's a right. Yeah, Jules Koundé, Denzel Dumfries, Kyle Walker, and Danny Carvajal. If we're going for the final four, but the whole tournament. For
I'm back.
For I'm trying to think who the other who the other players were.
What team in the tournament?
Yeah.
Well, I've got the team in the tournament up here. So the back four was Cucurella, left back, centre backs Saliba and Akanji, and right back Kyle Walker.
Wait, what the hell is Akanji doing there? What does he get in the team of the tournament for?
No.
Missing a penalty.
Yeah, and then the front of midfield is Rodri, Olmo, and Barres.
Basically,
it doesn't get much better. And the front three is Yamal, Williams, and Musiala.
Oh my god, that is so biased.
Yeah, I mean, I
I would select it a bit. Well, I would definitely give a shout out for right wing, because obviously you're not going to take Yamal out of it.
Right.
But I would shout out Ivan Srans from Slovakia.
Is he a right back or on right?
He's a right winger. Well, he can play across the front three, but right winger predominantly for the tournament. Oh, he was fantastic. I mean, he scored against Belgium.
We haven't picked our right back yet.
Right back. Who the hell's had a good tournament as a right back?
Should we just make it easier and pick from the final four?
What's the final four?
Kunde, Kyle Walker, Danny Carvajal, and Denzel Dumfries. Let's make it easier for ourselves.
Let's go Kunde.
Are you just salty about this whole Carvajal?
No, I think Kunde had a good tournament, to be fair. There weren't many French players that were good, but I think Kunde was quite good. I mean, I don't think there's been a standout right back for the whole tournament. I'm probably forgetting one of the smaller teams, but
yeah, centre backs. Well, you had that Akanji. I don't know how he got there. Maybe Man City bias coming into it. Akanji. If we're looking at smaller teams. Did Soyuncu go to the Euros with Turkey?
I don't think he started.
No.
I mean, I tell you who I would give a shout, and this is the only England player I put in. That's Mark Gay.
Yeah, same. You know what? I'm putting him in I'm putting him in as one of the defenders.
In terms of other centre backs, I can understand Saliba. I think France weren't very good, but their defence was pretty good.
That's what got them to the semis in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm like, I'm giving it to Cucurella, but a close second is Teo Hernandez.
Yeah.
For me. But that's as far as I go for France. France do not get any other shouts.
So Cucurella, Saliba, Guehi, and Jules Koundé.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the midfield. I'd have to say Musiala gets in there. I know.
Well, are we saying midfielders in central midfielders? Because I'd count Musiala as the front three.
Is that what Julian Nagelsmann picked him as?
Yeah, he was part of the front. It was Wirtz, Musiala, and Havertz, I think.
God. You seem like disgust when you said Havertz.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like Havertz at all.
Right. So the midfield. So we have. I can't remember that Georgia midfielder's name. He was really good.
The top goal scorer.
I swear Danny Olmo was the top goal scorer.
Well, no, there's 6 top goal scorers technically.
What?
Yeah, they decided to take out the rule that because the rule was if everyone was tied, whoever has the most assists would get it. But halfway during the tournament, they said actually no. If it's a tie, everyone's sharing the golden boot. So we have 6 gold. We have 6 golden boot winners.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So your golden boot winners are Cody Gakpo, Harry Kane, Danny Olmo, Musiala, the Georgian midfielder, the Georgian winger, and Ivan Srans. All 6 of them won the golden boot. No lie.
You know what? Just because he won the golden boot, put that Georgian guy in.
But that's the thing, he's a winger, so then you can't really put him in without taking out
Yamal,
No,
Williams.
as in the midfield.
But he's not. He's a winger, not a midfielder.
So out of the midfielders, then, oh god, I can't think of anyone else. Then,
I'd say Rodri.
no, as in like outside the bigger nations.
Oh,
So
no, yeah.
if we're looking at the final
Hold
four,
on. I've got a name. A certain Real Madrid youngster.
oh yeah, Arda Güler. Arda
I would
Güler.
100% put Arda Güler in there.
Arda
Well,
Güler.
not in the team, in the shouts, not in the shouts for it. But I do think the Spain. You can't look past the Spain midfield, to be honest. But I would give shout outs to Arda Güler. I would give shout outs to
Kobe Mainu.
Yeah, I give him a shout out, but I think he hasn't done nowhere near enough to get into.
Shout. That's literally what it is. A shout, not to.
Yeah. But he's like Arda Güler's like. So this is the team of the tournament. Arda Güler's not far behind. Kobe Mainoo's still a bit behind. Arda Güler. So it's a very small shout. Rather it. If I was not English, you wouldn't be shouting. I don't really know other than that. Front three, I think you've got to have Yamal and Williams in, realistically.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scrans, shout out to Mitzi. I would say shout out to Cole Palmer, but he didn't play enough to be included in our team in the tournament. I would say shout out.
Vital assists.
Yeah, I know, but he's not. I know, but it's not. He hasn't had enough game time. Shout out to Gakpo. To be fair, he's got goals. Shout out to the German striker that come on for Havertz, Falkirk.
Nicholas Füllkrug.
Yeah, I thought he did well. He did really well. But again, like Cole Palmer, don't think he had enough game time to realistically put him near this team.
Then way you can't say Wout Weghorst.
Well, I think Wout Weghorst one good game. That's it. But yeah.
Right. So those are. So now, if you look at the striker, if we're looking at Final Four only, you have Harry Kane.
No.
Alvaro. Oh my God! Can't even bring myself to say it. Alvaro Morata.
No.
Wout Weghorst.
Well, technically, Depay was the striker for.
But I mean, if we're going purely off positional, like not where you're shoehorned or.
No, but Depay is playing, and he's not playing any other position apart from striker for Netherlands.
But you know what I'm trying to say. He's not
I
an
know,
actual striker.
Yeah, but I'd argue the way Kane
if you're
plays.
going by natural strikers only, the Holland are the only ones that don't have one because Olivier Giroud is for France. If we're going by Final Four only, Olivier Giroud is the standout among all of them.
But Giroud didn't play. I mean, striker. I'm happy to shoehorn. I'm happy to shoehorn Musiala into it.
As a striker.
Yeah, just because
he's always played as an attacking 10.
Just because there's no one else to put. What striker has realistically done fantastic at this Euros?
I can't actually think of one, if I'm honest with you.
And I don't want to put Morata in.
Is it just an agenda thing?
Partially, but no, just no Morata, please.
No Morata, okay. Right. We're probably just going to... I'm not putting Depay in for other reasons, non-footballing. And I think you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
You probably know what I'm talking about. That whole Benjamin Mendy thing.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, he's not going in there purely for that reason. And
Anything else you want to discuss, Nippon?
I think that's it.
Fair enough.
So yeah, team of the tournament. We have Mamardashvili in goal. At right back, we have Jules Koundé. Centre back, Saliba and Guehi. Left back, Cucurella. We have Spain's midfield. And a front three of Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, and up front we have Jamal Musiala. So, with that being said, I hope you all had a really good Euros. Matt, before we wrap up, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MattJBall98, and you can find me on Chelsea podcast called the Blue Code Project Podcast on Spotify and Apple.
And you can find me on... And you can find me on... Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, you can find me on all those socials below. You can find me as as a cameoist on Worldwide Chels. Go subscribe to Sadiq if you haven't already. You can find me as an occasional caller on Football Carnage TV, ran by the Big Six's very own Grizz Khan. You can also find me all over the football content world, whether it's on call-in shows or outside stadiums, giving interviews to matchday going fans. And with that being said, I shall see you all in the next video. And thank God Southgate has gone. See you later.